We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Jalen Ramsey, who really carried this Dolphins team to a victory over the Raiders. He made so many big plays, not even just the interception, but like both the two interceptions he had. He had other big plays that happened, even on like a fourth down, stopping on a flea flicker. You'll see all of it. Very, very impressive. I like to see the defense sort of will the team to a win in this game. Like the whole defense played really well, and I feel like, that's the first time like the defense really like carried the squad to a victory. I'll get to my thoughts on the offense in my next video. Definitely some things to work on. But this is why I never bought into the narrative of the Dolphins beating up on the bad teams, because so much context goes into it, whether like, who you like when you're playing them, where you're playing them, who's playing at the time in those specific games injury wise. Because right now the Raiders, like you start the season, you take the whole scope, aren't a great team. But if you look how they played the last couple games since their coaching came, they're a pretty solid team. And the Dolphins were clearly better. They clearly made some mistakes that I don't think are going to be super common, and a lot of teams in the NFL, you'll see it around the league, they lose this game with the amount of mistakes they make. Good teams would lose this game, but the Dolphins still found a way. I think that's actually a pretty good sign, because Dolphins have found a way to win all those games, and usually they're blowing out the teams that are lesser than them. Nice to see them win one where they probably should have blown out the other team, but it just didn't happen that way. I think there's stuff to work on for sure, and I'll get to that on the offensive video. But Ramsey, such a great addition. This play is absolutely insane. Dolphins running more quads with Ramsey and Howard back in the lineup together. They usually would run quads only down in the red zone, but they've been running a little bit more at other parts of the field. And this play, like, look, they motion 11 all the way across Trey Tucker. So this is like the motion, and then you get this clear out and a dig, and a lot of guys, this gets open all the time in the NFL, and Ramsey's so used to playing out of phase. Like, look at his leverage here. This guy's got, already a 2-yard advantage to the inside. When you're playing out of phase like this, which Ramsey is very, very used to, you got to have this closing speed and instincts. Look at him, read, the leverage, the body language of the receiver, cut, take a perfect angle to the catch point, the closing speed, and the athleticism, in air, body control, diving, interception is absolutely ridiculous. These are game-changing plays that Ramsey is making. Such a huge impact player. So glad the Dolphins traded for him, because he is really that key to the defense. I've been saying all year. Like, he's going to be the one that unlocks them, and I think the defense is coming around and going to be one of those units that could be really, really solid. I'll give you my thoughts on the offense in the next video. I know some people, I think, are overreacting for sure, but there's definitely concerns to be had. But Jalen Ramsey, the defense, all playing really great. Really focusing on Ramsey in this video because he was playing lockdown. The process of these plays, the results, all good. Loved watching him play this week. This is such a good play from Jalen Ramsey, because Raiders were struggling to run the ball in this game a lot, which I think was a great, point of emphasis to really win this game for the defense. But on a 3rd and 1 situation, instead of running the ball like they did on the previous drive on a 3rd and short, they go for a flea flicker, and this is just very good work. Like, Adams jogs like he's going out to block him, and this is why you stick with your guy on these types of plays as a corner, because you're not going to get involved and make a play down on the running in the mix here unless he bounces it out, but you're still in a spot to get there. So just stick with it. And then Adams tries to accelerate past, and just look at that stride. Staying with Devontae stride for stride like that is so impressive. He's like galloping. You can see those long strides right there, and he is moving to stay in phase. So if this ball is slightly overthrown, but if it's thrown to a better spot, it just makes it in a contested area. The ball only gets completed here if it's a perfect throw, perfect finish, perfect catch. And Ramsey, just insane ability across the board. He was really willing the team to a victory in this one, even though I thought clearly the Dolphins were the better team and had a lot of opportunities to win this game, and it shouldn't have been as close as it was. Ramsey stepped up big when it mattered. I do love seeing them allow Ramsey to press versus Adams. They've been, doing this more and more with Ramsey and Howard out there, allowing one of them to press in certain situations. Dolphins are playing, in some 3 match here, but he basically just gets man-to-man versus Devontae Adams based on his positioning. And Ramsey knows, based on Adams' pre-snap spot here, he's, tight in alignment. A lot of times when they are lined up like this, one of them is going to be running like a deep crosser, the other one's running like a deep post. Ramsey recognizes this instantly. He's not going to break this back to the outside. A lot of route concepts do not do that, and if he does, it's a tough spot to be in. So he's playing some low shoulder leverage right here, and he's ready to undercut it. He's trying to force O'Connell into a throw here underneath. He's undercutting this. He's just reading this play all the way. This is just great instincts. He processes then boom, runs the route basically for Adams here, doing some nuanced stuff with his hands to slow him down too, but without hold. This is another big play for Ramsey, just as big as the 2 interceptions. Obviously, those interceptions were crazy, but this one's just as impactful because this is a 4th and 3. Raiders going in to score, Dolphins only up 1 score, and he just shuts down Jacoby Meyers. Not Davante Adams this time, but they allow both guys to play press to this side of the field in 4th and 3 situation. Love that. Don't give them any easy completions. Everyone is in some pretty good coverage across the board. Kohu, Renfro, Howard. Meyers creates some late separation there, but that was more of an OPI to get open. No one's really open, and Ramsey just gets his one-on-one and runs the route for the receiver. Absolutely beautiful. You can see some good press technique, staying square, staying over the top. He's playing some high outside leverage. You don't want him to allow the receiver to get over the top of you, and he literally is running it for the receiver, just using your body. Because if you're in the way of the receiver like this, you have just as much right to the ball. This isn't PI. He has to run through you, and you're just running step for step in position to get an interception if it's thrown there. But it's a 4th down. You don't want that pick anyways. That is just amazing work from Ramsey. This film is some of the best corner film I've seen all season long. As I was saying, Ramsey is so good at playing out of phase. Even here off the initial step, look how quickly he just gets back into recovery here versus Adams. Adams gets a great release. And, if you don't know what out of phase or in phase means, in phase just is usually when they're, going here, you're in the hip pocket of the receiver. No separation's really been created. When you're out of phase, there's usually over a yard of separation created. Ramsey has always had to do this playing in a Fangio-like scheme. They have their corners play out of phase all the time. But look how quickly Ramsey's able to get back into position even after this great release by Davante Adams where he has all this room to the outside. Ramsey just closes that space instantly. That's pretty good rep. Like to see him, the recovery ability, his athleticism, his length really allows him to get back into position even when he's not in the best to begin with. But usually he's already in great position because he has very good football intelligence, instincts. He processes plays really, really well, and then has the crazy athletic ability to act on it. Now Ramsey does get a little lucky here. This was his 1 negative rep in the game. Fortunately, O'Connell missed it, which is one of those things where it looks probably, not as bad on the stat sheet, but it definitely was a loss for Ramsey. And this could have been a big, negative. Because this is the final drive of the game. The Dolphins, the Raiders have no timeouts. It's under 2 minutes. Dolphins up 7. So you got to not allow them to score a touchdown here. And he gets a little too over-aggressive. They're playing, cover 3. He's in a tight 1/3 here. And he just gets a little too over-aggressive. Adams, very good receiver. It's also very hard to play corner in this league. But you got to stay over the top here. But he does make up for it, which is the big thing. Ramsey, you're going to have mistakes as an NFL player overall, and especially playing that corner position. And he doesn't let that affect him mentally because he ends up, making the huge interception on this drive. And even another quality play throughout as well. This was another big play from Ramsey, the one before the second interception that he has here. Final drive as well. Davante Adams just running the out. Big play to knock this out because this would convert a 1st down, get them closer. Also, he would get out of bounds and not take too much time off the clock. Also, look how much depth he has gained here because they're playing cover 3. He wants to stay over the top. But then look at this transition. Boom. Stick that foot on the ground. No wasted movement at all. Even with his hips opened up towards the quarterback, he's able to stick that left foot, get down, close so fast to burst, and then get physical to knock that ball out. It was already coming loose. Davante did not catch it cleanly. But he could have still maybe, made a play on that if Ramsey didn't hit him. That's a huge play because it doesn't waste any time. They convert the 1st down, and they get a little bit closer to the end zone. And it was big time work from Ramsey before the big interception. Ramsey makes another big play. Dolphins in some cover 6 here. They're playing quarters to the bottom, cover 2 to the top. They motion Meyers in. So Trey Tucker has a natural really far inside leverage to Ramsey here. And this is what they're trying to do basically. They have Meyers working across here to pull the inside quarter safety, which, is the correct, move, and then throw the post behind it because that's a weakness of quarters, and they get the quarters look to the bottom, but they also have Elliott playing deep half who does a good job of getting in position over the top, but Ramsey just gets in perfect over the top position. He's playing top down, and he has the closing speed and burst to easily get there over the top and then make an insane play at the catch point. His ball skills are ridiculous. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him because he landed on the ball, but his in-air athleticism, the vertical ability in his game is so ridiculous. The size, the ability to move at this at his size as a corner is insane. The tracking too, jumping in the air, floating for so long and then hanging on to that, not allowing like the ball to hit the ground, move at all either, to finish at the catch point is such a huge play from Ramsey. So really, like, he's such a huge part of this team. I think he really, if the defense stays healthy, relatively healthy, because you never stay fully healthy for the rest of the season, I think they're a top 10 unit, possibly even better with how they've looked these past few weeks. Even against good teams like the Chiefs, they played really well. Raiders, who have been playing better, obviously have a rookie quarterback, but I think O'Connell has been playing pretty decent. They still have like Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Kobe Meyers, a decent O-line. It's still a pretty good matchup, and other than the big Devontae Adams touchdown they gave up, which I'll do a full defensive breakdown later, probably tomorrow. They played a pretty solid game. Like, the field goals were off, some turnovers. Offense needs to be better. I'll get to that in my next video, but I think it's a good win overall, especially from the defense perspective. So Jalen Ramsey, great game. If you guys really do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, see you guys next time. Peace.